What's going on? This video is March the 13th, 2025. Got a lot of stuff to touch on for this week, and we're going to start off with Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin. He came in to visit President Trump in the White House yesterday, March the 12th. Of course, discussing business in terms of regarding the war with Ukraine, Russia. Everybody, wants to see some kind of a peace agreement. Okay, it's funny how all of a sudden little Zelensky wants to agree to a peace agreement. I'm sure he was pushed into that, or a ceasefire, I should say, first. An eventual long-term peace agreement is what everybody wants. They say they're waiting on Russia. Putin says, he's for the cease agreement, but he also wants long-term peace assured. Also wants to discuss business with the United States in terms of why this war is still going on. Again, Ukraine, corrupt government. Zelensky, corrupt. Not the citizens of Ukraine, who it's run by. Very corrupt, money grabbers, whatever you want to call them, doing things illegally to make more money. Nazi government, I always say this, running in the Ukraine. Michael Martin seems like a good guy to me, compared to some of these other world leaders. President, whatever you want to call him, prime minister. So the joke in there was, before he left, is that one of the media analysts brought up that Rosie O'Donnell had taken her fat ass to Ireland to avoid being in the United States anymore, because of course, she says she's so disgusted with Trump being president, and that if he got back in office, that she would leave the country, which she says she did. Now, even though she's on video saying she's in Ireland, does that really mean that she's in Ireland? I mean, she could still be sitting wherever and say she's in Ireland. But either way, she said she's in Ireland. She said she'd be for coming back to the United States. I don't know, when things are fair, according to her. Anyway, a media person had asked, you seem like such a peaceful person, to Prime Minister Martin, and it's amazing that you could have such a disruptive person like Rosie O'Donnell now as a citizen of your country. And, Trump joked, do you know who that is? And he really kind of brushed it off and laughed about it like he really didn't know. And Trump's like, that's good. That's a good thing that you don't know. You don't want to know who that is. That's a good thing. So Rosie O'Donnell, just another fat ass liberal. Nothing wrong with being a liberal as long as you have the right mindset. She's a complete loser. So anyway, I thought that was funny. So it's good for Prime Minister Martin to come, pay his respect, talk to President Trump yesterday. We have also, I want to get into this. Mahmoud Khalil leading protests at Columbia University. Of course, he was arrested by ICE a few days ago. He was sent to a detention center in Louisiana, where eventually he will be deported. Saying he is a legal citizen of the United States. He has a green card, which the United States is the government's going to revoke the green card status. But even if you have a green card, it only applies for so much. If you're inciting violence, like Mahmoud Khalil has been, in support of a terrorist organization and Hamas, okay, then this is the issue. He's on Columbia campus. All these crazy protests have been going on, on college campus, which isn't needed. I mean, this is where kids are going to school. This is where they want to learn, not where they want to deal with this shit in the first place. There is a thing called freedom of speech, which we all should be granted. But again, hate speech is a different story. And freedom of speech still only takes you so far. You can't, just because I have freedom of speech doesn't mean I could threaten to kill somebody. That's a threat. No matter, I could say freedom of speech, but it's a threat. Well, when you're inciting violence, when you're handing out pamphlets supporting Hamas, a known terrorist organization, with a bunch of sadistic losers, and you're the leader, you're the ringleader that everybody's listening to, and you're leading these crazy protests with all these Soros-funded losers, all these Antifa losers, then of course you're a risk for this country. Of course you're a risk for this country. And then today we still have people, these idiots, these losers, Soros-funded losers, going into Trump Tower, beautiful Trump Tower in New York City, a holy palace, and they let these hundreds of these scumbags somehow get into the lobby and protest Mahmoud Khalil. He should be free, blah, blah, blah. There was, I think, 90 arrests, I heard. They should have arrested them all. I mean, I don't know why everybody wasn't arrested, because you're on private property. You can protest on the street, on public property, not inside Trump Tower on private property. Either way, if you're inciting hate, if you're preaching hate, if you have any type of support and you're having support for Hamas, you got issues. I will go back to Andrew Tate. I support everything about the Tate brothers, minus Andrew Tate being somewhat saying he's kind of like supporting Hamas in the sense that he feels like they were being bullied and that they're standing up for themselves, which Andrew Tate just needs to get some education about this. He probably, there's been Jewish people that have spoke on this, that they don't think that Andrew Tate has anything against Jewish people, Israel, compared to Palestinians, but somehow he just thinks in this war that, that for some reason that the, I guess Israelis started it and the Palestinians were defending themselves. It's the other way. Palestine, Hamas, this is, again, a well-known, orchestrated, classified terrorist organization group. So, Mahmoud Khalil, see ya. You are scum. They know stuff on you. This is why you're being fucked with. This is why you're in jail now. And this is why you're going to have your green card revoked. And this is why you're going to be deported. Okay? Because you're bad news. They don't just pick on people for no reason. They have their reasons, okay? And again, you're going to see these losers still saying, oh, they're taking away our freedom of speech, blah, 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 blah. And let me say, by the way, I'm rocking the Make America Great hot pink edition. I've always liked the color pink for many reasons, particularly on a woman. But I also like wearing the color of pink. It looks good as long as there's not too much pink. You wear a little bit of pink mixed with some black, maybe some black and white, or black on black, and then the pink hat. You mix things up. Anyway, rocking the pink edition today. Of course, now they got these are the main Trump hats you could get at trumpstore.com. They basically made these into every color now. So it used to just be a few colors. Now it's like they're fucking trying every single color, literally. And some colors, you're basically having different color lettering. So like they didn't do this with, like, say, the pink hat, but they do have a lighter pink hat and with a red lettering. And I also have that. That's known as a Valentine's edition. And then even some of the green hats, they have like a dark green, a green pastel. They're going crazy because they see that how well these hats sell. So they're like, let's just make different colors and get people like me to just go buy them because they're different colors. So this is what's happening. So it is smart business. If there was only that one red hat like this, or even say maybe they made a white or a black only, okay, then that would be it. I wouldn't need to buy anymore. But being it that there's different colors, it's going to apply to people like me that say, oh shit, well, I don't have a pink one, I don't have a green one, so on and so on. So anyway, I bought a few different ones recently. And there was a good sale I got at Trump Store. So they have those a few times a year. So you got to watch out for that, 20% off sales. But your official Trump merchandise, trumpstore.com. And you'll get all your Trump goods there. The official Trump merchandise, no bootleg. So, I mean, of course, you're going to pay more money, but it's better quality, better product. And just, giving a plug for my guy. So the greatest president in history. So enough of Mahmoud Khalil, okay? Now let's go on to Congressman Tim Burchett. he was talking the other day about Doge, and he said, yeah, of course, the reason that the Democrats and a lot of other politicians, even Republicans included, are hating what Elon is doing, again, is because he's trying to take out the fat, as far as, just jobs that are not needed. Of course, now today, some scum judge overruled that, some of these people that were fired are granted their jobs back, at least for the time being. So they'll be fired again. And these judges, I don't even have this moron's name, but judges like him are corrupted judges. They're doing this. They're going against what Trump is asking, because they're getting kickbacks also, probably Democrats, but either way, probably people that have done illegal stuff, their whole careers also, or a lot of their careers, and they're just trying to continue on and go against the Trump narrative of trying to make America great and trying to weed out all the corruption, all the people taking illegal money, kickbacks, and all different forms of government. So it's just Doge. But anyway, Tim Burchett, he was talking about Doge, and he's saying this is why a lot of these politicians obviously hate what Elon is doing, because he's trying to investigate, which he is, even harder, and he's going to single out and find out exactly who's getting the money, who's gotten the money all these years, all the different politicians, and it's going to just, again, it's going to end their careers, hopefully give them jail time, because again, these people have been doing illegal transactions, and he made sure to say he's a Republican, but he said this includes Republicans also. There's been Republicans that have been abusing the system. So this isn't just a Democrat thing, but this is lately, I think it has really become more of a Democrat issue. It seems like there's a lot more bad on that side right now than there is on the other, but there's bad everywhere. Just like I say, there's always bad judges, there's bad police, there's bad doctors, there's bad everything, unfortunately, and then fortunately there's good in everything. If we had all bad in everything, then that would be a problem. If everybody just thought bad and did bad, that would be pretty fucked up, right? I mean, so we're made a way to, where you really want everybody to be more peaceful and get along and stuff, but that's just the way that this world is now, the way that everything's divided. I don't know when that's ever going to happen, but Elon's trying his best to take out the corruption out of the government. So when people open their eyes and just don't see it as a political thing, that he's just trying to do the right thing, then maybe a lot more people will wake up to it and understand at the very end what has been going on, especially when they start singling out certain politicians, specific people in government positions that have been abusing the system and have been taking your taxpayer money and again throwing it to different countries for bullshit things, just so they could get kickbacks on it and they could become richer from it. So anyway, I was glad to hear Congressman Tim Burchett call that out the other day. Then also Tulsi Gabbard, she put an end to security clearances for Biden aides, people like Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Blinken. There's several names, but anyway, these people should have no way to still be able to look at secret information, and view things. The phony imposter Biden administration is done. It's over. And again, the best part is going to be when it's proven that the 2020 election was a stolen election and that they erased Joe Biden's name from the books, that he never won. So it's going to just be erased. It's going to be, so like when you look at 2020 election, Joe Biden's name's not going to be there anymore. Like it's going to be like it never happened. Now, do they put Donald Trump's name there knowing that he won it? I don't know if they're going to do that because, technically they should. I mean, of course, they should reverse it. As long as Biden's name is gone, and he's not recognized as ever winning an election because it will be proven that that election was really stolen. I'm not gonna say that he stole it, that it was stolen in many different ways and many different people were behind it. That's a whole other day, because we're on something right now that is not that. That's gonna be eventually, we're gonna get to that. But right now we're on something else. Then we'll get to that eventually. But when that's shown, that's gonna be a whole different ball game. So there's gonna be a lot of disappointed people in this world. There's also gonna be a lot of happy people like me. And I'm already happy. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy that the greatest president in the world in history is in the White House and trying to do great things like any president in the entire world should do. Not just the United States, in any country in the world. All presidents should be good people. They all should be out for doing the best possible things for their country first. Their country first. Our country first. Their country first. And doing things by the law. And if you're not, which unfortunately there's a lot of, presidents and past, even present, and people in governments that have done their job incorrectly, those people are a major problem. And this shit really needs to be corrected. It's out of hand, and I think probably the worst it's ever been. I always say this. I know I sound like a broken record about some things, but that's unfortunately the way that it goes, or that's the way that it is. So, we're in the process of trying to clean it up. And I say we because I've been outspoken on all these things. When people were trying to say that I was, conspiracy theorist and all this stuff, and they still do, each day goes by and more stuff is proven that shows I'm the opposite of a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a realist. That's all, and I just want to see everything ran correctly in the world. I don't want to see any corrupt things going on either side of the aisle. I want to see things ran correctly. I don't want to see the American people get screwed out of money, going other way, or just making other politicians richer and making people in other countries richer. It's a joke. So anyway, I think I kind of touched up on. Well, I was going to say I touched up on everything political I wanted to touch up on for the week. We also have another couple days remaining in the week, so if anything else exciting happens, I'm going to have to wait till next week to touch up on it. But I usually try to wait till the end of the week because I feel like we're getting to the point where we're kind of in the clear of at least world news that I have to report. But again, anything can happen any day. I mean, there could be another crazy incident going on tomorrow, on Friday, Saturday, whatever. So hopefully not. Hopefully this is all the big stuff for the week. Trump and Elon were talking the other day at the White House. He had a little X. Elon's kid, little X, was there. And Elon was just saying, that's the other thing. The Tesla, some of his Tesla shops have been, getting looted. You got people breaking glass and doing dumb shit. Again, more Soros hounds is, Soros funded losers is what it is. And these people are paid money to go and do dumb shit. And, Elon's like, look, I'm here. Yeah, I don't, and Trump's like, look, Elon doesn't need this. Like, he's the richest man in the world. He didn't, excuse me. Wow. I'm getting too caught up here. He didn't need to get into all this stuff, but he did for the betterment of the country. And he backed the right side. Remember, Elon used to be a Democrat. And then he saw what was going on over there. The people that have been running things for the last so many years have been doing things the bad way, a wrong way, which is why you have a lot of lifelong Democrats that are basically either changing parties or they're just getting out of the Democrat Party. They don't want to be associated maybe with either party, but they just they're done with the Democrat Party. Elon said, Tesla, he just wants to just keep doing great things with Tesla, do great things with Doge, the Doge agenda. Again, Elon, he's a great man. Tesla is going to keep doing great things. He's going to keep selling a lot of cars. More power to Elon. And I'm glad that, he's on the right team. You know what I'm saying? So, what else do I want to touch up on? I think that's about it for politics for the week. I want to go on to a little bit of sports talk. Of course, like always, I mainly talk the teams that I support, the teams that I care about. That'd be the Yankees, the Raiders, the Bulls, the Blackhawks. Now, if there's something big, like if we're talking about championships and my teams are not in it, or whatever, big games, big moments, I'm going to bring them up. I can't really think of anything to talk about in any other, about any other team right now, or any other players that I want to bring up except my own that I support. So first, we'll talk Raiders. Okay, so we just started free agency. So last week, the Raiders made a trade. Just became official actually today, March the 13th. Traded for Geno Smith from Seattle. Seattle actually offered him a rework contract. He didn't like it. He said, "Can you trade me?" It worked out. Pete Carroll's the coach now for the Raiders. Got him to the Raiders. I'd say the best quarterback we've had since Rich Gannon. And that's a big compliment, because Rich Gannon was an MVP with the Raiders. Derek Carr, I mean, he was okay. He had a couple of good years, but, he had some injuries, and I think that just really fucked with his head, and it changed his whole game. He just became more timid, started making more mistakes, wasn't running as much. So I can't say that I think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Geno Smith, even though Derek Carr, for the longevity that he was with the Raiders, he has a lot of the Raiders' marks, like yardage. I'm not sure about touchdowns. He's got different. I think maybe completions, but that has nothing to do with who's the actual better player. Geno Smith is the better player, especially the last, say, 4 years. Geno Smith is top 5 pretty much in completion percentage. Last year, he was 4th in yardage. He did throw 15 picks in 2024, so that's a lot. You don't want to be in 15. You really like to be in single digits. But even Mahomes, I think, was double digits last year in picks. It just seems like, as in general, more quarterbacks are making more mistakes than ever the last few years. But no excuse. You want to cut that down. You don't want it to be 15. You really want it to be 0. But Geno's got a strong arm. He's very accurate. He can run. He's an aggressive guy. So he's it's a very good move. And some low key moves. Jeremy Chin. I actually think that upgrades. He'll play some free safety with us, I think, or he could play strong. But he replaces Trevon Moehrig, who I really actually wanted to keep. Trevon Moehrig got a much bigger contract. He's a few years younger than Chin. But if you look at the overall production, if we're just comparing last year, Chin had a better year than Moehrig did. Moehrig, he was drafted by the Raiders. He's 25. He's just one of those guys, if you're a Raider fan, you're like, oh, yeah, for the right price, let's keep him. But, I mean, he got big money. He got $17 million to go to the Panthers. Also, another guy I would have really liked to keep, Robert Spillane. He went to the Patriots. It was only, I don't think it was even $12 million average a year. I don't know, man. Spillane, they did bring in a Landon Roberts, who's basically higher rated than Robert Spillane was last year. But in terms of tackles, not as many tackles. Now, 2 previous seasons, 2023, 2022, Landon Roberts had 100-plus tackle seasons. So I think he just wasn't playing as many downs in Pittsburgh last year. That's why his numbers went down a little bit. I think he only had like 45 tackles, but very aggressive player, hard hitter. I think the Raiders are going to probably draft a linebacker. They got Mostert today, ex-Dolphin. He'll be a depth running back for the team. A couple other, re-signing Malcolm Kuntz. That was one of my, and Adam Butler. That was 2 of my wants to keep, both of those guys. So they were both brought back. Malcolm Kuntz, unfortunately, last year missed the whole entire season. He came off of an 8-sack season from 2023. Last year didn't play at all, tore his knee. So we got him back for 1 year prove-it deal for $12 million. Also, Nate Hobbs is gone, Nate and Divine Diablo. Those were 2 guys that I actually expected more to go. Like, I thought we would bring back Spillane and Moehrig compared to bringing back Hobbs and Diablo. I kind of thought both were possible comebacks, but I kind of figured they would both go, and they both did. Hobbs went to Green Bay. Diablo went to the Falcons. So, look, these guys were not bad players. They weren't great players, but they're good enough. When you have great players like Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, guys like that on your defense, you don't need every single player to be great. Although that'd be nice, but that's just not, realistic. I mean, to have great players at every single position, you definitely need a couple on each side of the ball. That's a nice thing, offense and defense. But you're not going to have perfect players everywhere, but you want to have sound players, guys that don't make mistakes, guys that don't commit a lot of penalties, and so on. Anyway, so that's it for the Raiders for now. There's going to be more moves made. The draft is in April, so, I think right now, as far as starters go, they have pretty much every starter intact, guys that were already on the team before, or guys that we just brought in. There's a few more that will be brought in from the draft, I think. They still are going to need one starting linebacker. They're going to need more like an outside linebacker. They're going to need a running back, a starting running back, another starting receiver, which I think they'll get in free agency to go with Jacoby Myers. And then, and a slot cornerback. I don't know if we have that on the roster right now to replace Hobbs, because we run a 4-2-5 defense. So basically, you're going with 4 defensive linemen, you're going with only 2 linebackers, and you're going with 5 defensive backs. Most teams, they'll do a traditional 4-3-4. So 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 defensive backs. Raiders pretty much all the time have a nickel cornerback on the field. So I don't know if it's on their present roster. It might be somebody that we're going to get in free agency. It might be somebody we're going to get in the draft or via trade. So I think there's those few starting spots that are remaining that we need to figure out. And then I think there's some depth that, they'll, like today, getting Mostert, bringing in some other depth guys at certain positions. But I think most of the roster is intact, to be honest. I just think last year, a lot of bad luck, a lot of injuries. That's why they were so bad. There's a lot of talent on the roster that just had one of those years where there was just too many injuries. And speaking of injury, sadly, going to the Yankees now, it's already been a bad spring, losing Luis Hill for a little bit of time, couple months. He's got a lat issue, standing with his elbows, getting PRP injections to make them feel better, but who knows when he's going to come back. And then now Garrett Cole, sadly, this is a guy that's been, basically a warrior his entire career. I mean, he's barely been hurt, really. If you look at his whole career, I think he might have missed a little bit of time in Pittsburgh. One season, I don't remember which year, but not to where he's missed a whole season. So last year, he missed basically half the season, 2024. Elbow issue in spring. It was determined that it was inflammation in his elbow. They rested him. He came back, pitched well. Fortunately, Game 5 of the playoffs, he was pitching great. We all know the 5th inning, he was part of it. Unfortunately, he made a bad decision not running to first base. That kept the inning going on. Anyway, Garrett Cole, unfortunately, he has a tear in his elbow. He did get Tommy John surgery already. I think it was on Tuesday, the 11th of March. He'll be back next year. I would think probably, sooner than later. I mean, because they say really a 1-year injury, but then you're also going to have to, come back. You're going to have to build up, get some rehab in. So who knows if it's not going to be right at the start of the season. It probably will be, a little bit in, maybe the second month, maybe May. But I feel horrible, of course, for the team because we did add a great pitcher in Max Fried that we didn't have last year. So you're adding him to the mix, and you're like, wow, now Cole and Fried and Heel, and everybody we had last year, and then that gave us the benefit if we wanted to trade Stroman, which they did not do, which was a good thing because I had said from the start, keeping Stroman had its benefits because you need those depth arms around in case something happens, and of course you always hope for the best of any team if you're a fan of any team that nobody gets hurt, but nowadays especially, I mean, chances of that happening are slim and none. So unfortunately, Cole's done for the 2025 season. He'll be back in 2026. Yankees still have a great pitching staff. Still have Max Fried now leading the rotation. He'll be eventually you'll have Luis Gil joining the rotation, but that's going to be a couple months. You still have Carlos Rodon, you have Clark Schmidt, you have Marcus Stroman, the same starters from last year. And I think at any point, Will Warren's going to probably start out the season. He'll get a shot. Last year he was bad, but young kid coming up, getting a shot. He wasn't that aggressive in the strike zone, got behind a lot of counts and paid the price. That's what Clark Schmidt was doing at the beginning of his career, and he got better from it, and hopefully Will Warren will get better from it. And Will Warren's got good stuff, but he has to use it to his ability, attacking the strike zone, staying ahead in counts, just like any successful pitcher would. It's hard to get behind in counts on a consistent basis and then be able to come back and get outs, and then it becomes too predictable. Like I gotta throw a strike here. I'm behind 3-0 or 3-1, so I gotta put one like down the middle, and then that's when guys tee off on you. No matter how good you are as a pitcher, it's hard to make perfect pitches all the time, and to come back from that kind of a count, especially, and make say down 3-0 and make 3 straight perfect pitches in a row to get an out. But hey, look, it sucks losing players. It sucks losing star players. I'm used to this. I saw this happen with the Raiders last year. I see this happen with the Bulls too much lately. Blackhawks, it really hasn't mattered because there just hasn't been enough talent on the team. Even if everybody did stay healthy, they're getting there. They're not there yet. But I mean, Yankees, again, to have a proven all-star like Cole go down like that, especially when you're going to lose him for the whole year. Also knowing how much he loves the game of baseball. Like, you could hear it when he talks about the game. He's just very passionate about everything. Yankees, of course, big Yankee fan growing up. So he bleeds Yankees. He bleeds Major League Baseball. He's very honest. Like, I say the most honest guy. Like, when you do an interview with him after a game, I was telling my dad the other day, I said, even if this guy, gets an out, and he'll tell you, I faced that hitter in the 7th inning. I threw him a fastball down the middle of the plate. He popped it up, but it was a horrible pitch. I got away with it. Like, Cole will tell you that. He won't take credit, even if he gets outs on pitches. He'll still tell you the pitches he fucked up on and the scenarios. That's how honest he is. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a great teammate. He's still going to be around the guys this year at some point, and be with the team. And, he'll be, like Clark Schmidt said, he'll be like an extra pitching coach for this year on the team. And listen, this team's got a lot of talent, and that one injury is not going to derail the mission and the chances of winning a championship. It's going to hurt a little bit because, again, to replace that exact production, it's not easy. But you don't need that exact production. You just need good enough production on a consistent basis. And starting pitchers are only pitching every 5 days. It looks a little bit, you're focusing more in the playoffs because you're going with usually those same 3 guys, probably. You're not expanding the rotation as much as you are in the regular season, but you are also depending on your bullpen more. A lot of these games come down to the bullpens, so you got to minimize injuries. That's any team. Look, the Dodgers, they won last year on our stupidity, but they also won with a not healthy roster. Ohtani did not pitch at all last year. I mean, he did hit, but he didn't pitch, and he'd be one of their better pitchers. I think Kershaw was out in the playoffs. Glasnow was out in the playoffs. I mean, they had some guys out, and they had to make some trades. They ended up getting Flaherty, bringing some guys up, but still, they were not 100% roster when they beat us, and the Yankees pretty much were. The Yankees were without LeMahieu, who wasn't performing well anyway. They weren't without Loaizaga, who I think probably would have helped some out of the bullpen. But other than that, the Yankees were pretty healthy. The Yankees, their stupidity beat them in that World Series mainly, just a lot of bad gaffes and stuff like that. But anyway, I felt horrible for Cole, just knowing that he has not missed a full season. He's not used to this. He's used to missing some games. Last year it was some months. Now it's a whole year. If you're a sane person, you don't wish an injury to anybody. Like, you rather see a team at their best. That's all. That's always my mindset. I want to play a team at their best. I don't want to have any excuses why they lost, or, unfortunately it happens to a lot of my teams where my guys are the ones that are out. The other teams benefit that we're playing because my teams are missing key pieces usually. It's just the way it's been working out. But anyway, all love and respect to Garrett Cole. He's an animal. He's a he's a warrior. He's a true warrior, and I know he's, like he said, he's gonna get his rehab. He's gonna work his rehab hard, and he's gonna be back next year and helping the team on the field. And then this year he'll be back at some point helping them in the dugout, giving guys pointers and giving guys confidence. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm trying to catch up. Last week I wanted to put 2 videos up. I only put the 1. I'm trying to catch up. There was a few weeks back, maybe 3 weeks ago, there was 1 week I did not put up a video. It was 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I'm trying to even that out. So this will be the second video, should be the second video going up for this week, as long as everything loads correctly, which it should. Sometimes it has to do with the area I'm in. I'm not able to load it as well. But I'm hoping to get this up tonight, if not by the weekend. Anyway, like always, make America great again. It's the best thing going in the world. All right, we'll see you.